In today's How To with Vesma, I'm going to show you how to make worm castings without a worm bin. This is an easy way to do it if you want to do little to nothing just to get some worm castings at home and don't want to deal with the maintenance of having a worm bin. You don't even have to buy worms because they're already in the ground, but you'll have to have some ground space to do this because you'll be harvesting on top of bare soil. This is all you need right here. A container, pot, whatever. This is all you need. If you look here, worm castings. Once you pick a spot, get rid of any grass and leaves so it's just bare soil and water that spot thoroughly. Worms like to live in moist areas. And then all you have to do is put the pot on top of that spot and wait. Now the pot will help keep the soil moist, but if it gets too hot or something like that, the soil can dry out. So just try to make sure that the soil stays moist at all times. One thing I actually like to do, because I don't always have things growing in every single pot, is to put a good 1 to 2 inches of soil in the pot for the worms, because I've noticed that the worms will go in and out of the pot making castings in both spots, and then I can just use that potting mix for something else. So you can use an empty pot and keep this as low maintenance as possible, or you can put a few inches of soil in the pot just for the worms, or you can just go ahead and use a full potted plant. Either way, make sure it stays moist. And a few weeks later, you should be able to harvest some castings, and how much you get varies, so keep that in mind. Let's look under this pot right here. I discovered this method by accident, so the castings have just been building up. That is a whole little thing of castings that can be used as amendment, as soil amendment. So I'm gonna try harvesting these castings. And it's just gonna be the top layer. So all of this is worm castings. Here's another look at the castings. You should start seeing little piles of castings in about a week or so. The castings are on the top layer of soil, so you can harvest thin layers maybe every 2 weeks, once a month, or just let it build up over time and do one big harvest like I like to do. Again, how much you get varies. This way of getting worm castings isn't meant to make a bag full of castings, but it's enough to spread around a few plants, and it's easy to make, low maintenance, and it's free. Okay, I'm done harvesting from this spot. This is what I've got. It looks like a good amount to me. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put this pot back. So I found another spot with castings. And I will say, as far as like pots go, try to use a pot with some sort of indentation at the bottom. Flat pots, like pots or containers with flat bases, bottoms, that's fine, but I think you get a little bit more with the indentation. So I'd recommend letting it build up over time if you have the patience and want to do little to nothing just to get some worm castings. And I'll show you what some other spots look like, because I did not expect this. And I'm just scraping this top layer of soil, or castings I should say, till I get to the soil. And honestly, that top layer of soil, once you get down to it, that should be good to use for some potting mix too. So you're building good soil. Okay, so this is what we've got to work with. I try to get the finest grade of whatever it is that I'm sifting, which is what I've done so far. Ignore those pieces of grass. But what I do is I put this the mesh into a little pot. And this way I could be a little bit more, I guess, forceful with the shaking than I can with the strainer, because with the strainer, things just start going all over the place and nobody wants to deal with that. So let me show you. I just pour some in there. You can either, of course, do this, but I just, let's see, watch. Just go like this. And look at that. That was pretty fast. And I do this until the amount starts to slow down, and then I just put it with the rest of this stuff. Now all of this is still castings, but it's kind of just clumped together. So once again, you'll have to go through another little session of sifting. So this is it. This is the finest grade of worm castings that I can get. And to store it, this is worm castings from like last year I forgot about, and I keep it in this jar. And what you're supposed to do is put it in a jar and keep it moist. So I'm just gonna go ahead, because worm castings is worm castings to me, and I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of just, there we go. Okay. I should have had my little funnel. Ew. And here are the castings. Now let's see what we're gonna do about this right here. I think I'm just gonna, yeah. It's okay if there's like little pieces of grass, tiny twigs and sticks and stuff like that, but there's like bugs and other things that I don't want in here, so yeah. But all this other stuff, I mean, I'm okay with that as a home harvester. This is what I'm left with. I'm just gonna put it in another pot of something else. Like this. And be done with it. This right here was actually supposed to be like a worm, like a designated worm section here. I layered it with some dirt, leaves, and all the other kind of stuff, put some worms in that I found, and here we go. That was probably about like 3 weeks ago though. So this is it for the castings, and I hope this helps. I hope that this is just, if you're not able to, this is kind of hard with one hand, if you're not able to make a worm bin, or you don't want to, I hope this helps you get some worm castings if that's what you really want to use. Okay, and real quick, I'm going to pour this little bit of water in here just to keep things moist in there. Yeah, let's see. So if you look under these containers, I was trying to build soil and ended up with a lot of castings. I was experimenting with building soil in these containers, and I just put them wherever. And I got some castings to go with it. And I've also noticed how the hard compacted clay soil has changed a little bit too, so that's exciting. Oh, and you don't have to sift the worm castings if you plan on using it for your outdoor plants. But let me know if you plan on trying this out, and please share this video if it helped you or sparked some ideas. Thank you for watching today's how-to with Vesma. There's going to be another video about getting worm castings without a worm bin linked on screen and linked in the description.